Good day, Africa, and welcome to Diaspora Connect on AAU TV. Today on Diaspora Connect, we have the guest for today on Diaspora Connect. We have Dr. Tina Alton, an entrepreneur, a mentor, a business strategist. If I'm to read all the profile of Dr. Tina, I'm sure it will take all our time for this meeting. So briefly, that is what I will say. So welcome to Diaspora Connect, Dr. Alton.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. So Dr. Alton, today we are talking about the role of diaspora in empowering Africa for greater economic development. So before we go into the discussion, I just remember a story of my childhood when I was staying with my grandmother. Even then, I didn't know what the contribution of the diaspora was, but then I knew that every Christmas, my uncle, who was in the United States, will send us money, and my grandmother and myself will go to the bank, and then that was all joy because we at some point, or let's say for Christmas, we will have some money to spend the Christmas, and it was a source of livelihood for us and then the whole family. So even before I heard the term diaspora, and also I heard of the term remittance, this is what I knew from the past. So it was when I grew up that I knew that there was something called diaspora. And then, but looking at this, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I know it's not only remittances, and that is not the only contribution of the diaspora towards Africa's development. Dr. Tina, tell us more on the role of diaspora towards Africa's development.
Thank you. I think the Africa diaspora really it's like the chicken and the egg. They both need each other. And I was trying to find something here to read out to you, which is essentially Africa will not exist without its diaspora, and without its diaspora, Africa without the diaspora, there's no Africa. So we need each other, right? And I think if you look at any people group, there's always migration, even from great grandfathers who are moving from one place to the other, and then of course as industrial revolutions come, technology advancements, all of those means that people are always on the move for better life opportunities. So Africa is no different, if you will, from having a diaspora, which is also part of where we're still part of the continent, I'd like to think. And hope, sometimes when I was born in Ghana, raised in Ghana, and then, I traveled to the UK, and now it's my home. So I know that sometimes when you come home, there is that little bit challenge where you're sometimes seen as an outsider. And it's like, come on now, I mean, I'm not an outsider, I'm part, and I am your people. So it's one of those things that we know that there's always going to be Africa in us. We're always going to be part of the continent. But also in terms of making life, it just happens that we're making life in a different place.
All right. So in generality, would we say that looking at the role of the diaspora towards Africa's development, what are the dimensions? In which ways does do the diaspora contribute towards Africa's development? Is it just in the line of remittances, or it goes beyond that?
Absolutely, it goes beyond that. Certainly, in my experience and expertise as a recognized as one of the African diaspora leaders here in the UK, I know that yes, in the area of investment or remittances, shall I say, that the diaspora can be seen as a single biggest source of FDI into the continent. Just domestic remittances alone is more than the combined GDP, and so yes, as a people group, we therefore become what you call it, quite powerful from the point of view of purchasing power, and also because we are essentially the single biggest source of FDI into the continent. But also what we contribute is cross-cutting innovation, technology, contributing our minds to the betterment of the continent, trade, investment, finance, being able to participate in those, policy advocacy, we're able to contribute. in those policy advocacy, we're able to, what do you call it, are essentially the single biggest source of FDI into the continent. But also what we contribute is cross-cutting innovation, technology, contributing our minds to the betterment of the continent, trade, investment, finance, being able to participate in those, policy advocacy, we're able to, what do you call it, quite powerful from the point of view of purchasing power, and also because we are essentially the single biggest source of FDI into the continent. But also what we contribute is cross-cutting innovation, technology, contributing our minds to the betterment of the continent, trade, investment, finance, being able to participate in those, policy advocacy, we're able to, what do you call it, contribute of the continent, trade, investment, finance, being able to participate in what you call it, quite part of the continent, trade, investment, finance, being able to